detecting contaminated gear. Rogue agent eliminated. Nearby rogue agent killed. Initiating rogue protocol. Rogue defender drone detected. Now detecting contaminated gear. Rogue hive detected. Contaminated gear detected. Rogue. Manhunt initiated. Rogue defender drone detected. Rogue hive detected. Rogue blinder firefly detected. Rogue hive detected. Rogue defender drone detected. Now detect.
Good.
Rogue agent neutralized.
Y'all okay?
Rogue fixer drone detected. Rogue agent neutralized.
I need help.
Serious trauma. Vital signs critical. An agent needs assistance.
What's up, agents? Patrick Wolf here. Welcome to another Division 2 build video. Today's video is going to be my best PvP build. It will be an assault rifle build. Now, this is going to be mainly for PC players, but I will swap out some of the pieces to showcase how I would run it if you're a new player or you play on console. So there's a few things we need to go over. We're going to be trying to balance out headshot damage and critical hit damage. I see too many people making the mistake of speccing all headshot damage. For example, on your modifications, people rolling 10% headshot damage, putting 10% headshot damage mods on their 3 mod slots. That's a mistake. You should be going for the 12%. Why is that? Let me explain. So headshot damage and critical hit damage, it may seem obvious to a lot of people, but I want to just clarify a few things. For example, if we have a backpack like I've got now, as you guys are seeing, it's a Wyvern, nothing has increased it into the damage. It's literally 10% critical hit damage on the first test, and then 10% headshot damage on the second. Now, obviously, on gear pieces, it's more efficient to roll critical hit damage because you can get 12 as opposed to 10, but for this test, I've just gone for 10 and 10. So, the crits are exactly the same. 10% headshot damage and 10% critical hit damage when we crit is the same. That's because headshot damage is a base weapon damage increase. So, we are dishing out more damage to the head, therefore, the critical hit damage will be increased from that base increase of headshot damage. Now, with critical hit damage, it's just straight up when you crit 15 or 10% more damage. That's why we get the same orange values, which is critical hit. Now, this is where it gets interesting. When you shoot body shots, obviously critical hit damage is going to be better because it doesn't apply to headshot damage. So we are focusing on headshots for this build. So pay attention, guys. So critical hit chance, 60% maxed out. That means more of our bullets are going to be critting, which means, critical hit damage is going to be the better thing to spec into. But with that being said, it's also important to take note that there are RNG elements in this game. For example, if I'm fighting Timmy's got a full headshot build, and I've got more critical hit damage. We both hit 20 shots to the head, fighting each other. Timmy doesn't crit. So, let's say we both don't crit any of our shots. Timmy will win because the base headshot damage is going to be higher with non-crits than with stacking crit damage, because crit damage only applies when you crit. So base headshot damage will be higher. So Timmy will beat me if we both don't crit. If we both crit, then I will win the fight. And then, for example, if Timmy doesn't crit and I crit, I will win the fight. But you see what I'm trying to say. So when you're not critting, you still increase your damage with headshot damage increased. So from the test, you can just see the numbers, just have a look and take note of it. So what I'm trying to say is that 40% we are not critting, it's good to have some headshot damage because you're still hitting hard. And that's why with this build, we have kind of gotten headshot damage where possible because, for example, the Coyote's Mask at close range is just going to be the best piece to use because we get 25% critical hit damage. So hopefully you guys do understand. Just to summarize, headshot damage and critical hit damage, because we can get higher rolls from gear pieces, it's better to just roll on critical hit damage. But that being said, if your RNG is bad and you fight someone and only 20% of your bullets crit, you are worse off running with crit damage. So you can, if you want, spec more headshots or more crit. It is completely up to you. Hopefully you do understand what I'm talking about. There's more maths involved with this, but it is at the end of the day RNG when you fight. But I like it the way it is. I feel like this is the best way to roll the build. So let's go through the specialization and then we'll go into more detail on each individual piece. Firewall is going to be the best one to use. Why? Simple. Because we get the striker shield, more damage. We don't have to use the shield with this build, so you can use whatever skill you want. But the armor kit is just too good to pass up. Make sure you guys utilize it. It really, really saves you in PvP. So make sure you guys have 15% increased assault rifle damage, which is over here. And whatever you want to use as your secondary. You can use other specializations if you guys would like to. As I said before, Technician will be good because we don't need a shield for this build. The only reason why I have a shield is just to get extra damage when I need it and to defend myself from longer ranges. So, I wanted to explain this build as best of my ability. The Eagle Bearer, you do not have to use the Eagle Bearer. But with a build like this, you're going to capitalize the most from it. I have tried this build with less armor, more armor. Trust me guys, this is way better the way it is rolled now. You can beam people, especially with the Eagle Bearer, because of how good the accuracy is, and it rolls with headshot damage on it, which means you can beam someone and then you can actually finish a whole squad without dying. And then yes, you might die afterwards, but you still get them. So it's very, very strong. If you don't have the Eagle Bearer, I would recommend using the FAL or the FAMAS or Police M4 with damage chance out of cover and in sync rolled on it, and modify it just to get your crit chance as near 60 as possible. So with this build, I see a lot of people making the mistake of running 2 Walker and Harris, which is a big mistake. That does not help you at all. That's probably good for PvE, because in PvP, the thing is 5% armor damage and 5% weapon damage is not going to be that good for you. Let me quickly have a look at, I'm sure I've got a Walker and Harris piece. We can go over this as well, because I want to give you guys other options that you might be thinking of. So we've got 5% weapon damage, 5% damage armor. That is not worth it. We can get 15% crit damage and 15% headshot damage from 2 pieces. That is definitely not the best way to run a build like this. For me, I've gone for Coyote's Mask for that huge critical hit damage. It also gives you crit chance from range, but you can decide what you want to do. What could be a good idea is rolling a less crit chance and increasing your headshot damage, which means you can crit because it gives you crit chance when you're at longer ranges. We got the Fenris for the base assault rifle damage, the headshot damage, easy to get 15% one piece from the Providence defense, and to get our crit chance as high as possible, you can go for Grupo, but the thing is we want to make sure we try our best to use critical hit damage mods. So it depends how many good critical hit damage mods you have. I've got 2, so 2 12% crit damage mods. That's why I've gone for the Cheska. Now you can go for the Grupo if obviously you have more crit chance or you get close to 60. It's completely up to you. So let's have a look at the modifications. Like I said, critical damage rolled on there on both of them, and then crit chance to get myself up to 60. So currently we're at 59.1% crit chance, 130 crit damage, 118 headshot damage. You can see the balance that I've made, but it will be 130, 40, 50, 155 critical damage with the mask when we are close to enemies. So let's go through each piece now. Okay, before we do, we can go through the secondary, but I never ever use these guns. So I use an in-sync shotgun and an in-sync pistol. That's completely up to you guys. The Super 90 is very strong. Give it a try. So the Coyote's Mask, if you guys don't know how this works, it rolls crit chance, crit damage, and you have pack instincts 0 to 15 meters, which is the primary focus of the Eagle Bearer build, because we want to get up close and personal with players, beam them in the face, get the Eagle Bearer buff, and then push the rest of the team. So 0 to 15 meters, which is quite a distance, 25% critical hit damage. It is just the best for the kind of fighting, especially like me. I like to keep, get up close to players to be able to beam them down. Then 15 to 25 meters, 10% critical hit damage and 10% critical hit chance. So you can gauge depending on how far you want to go, but 15 to 25 is quite a long way away. 25 meters is 25% critical hit chance, but that is quite a distance, and you probably won't even be hitting headshots anyway. The chest piece, Providence defense, weapon damage, headshot damage, crit damage. Now, when you're going for attribute rolls, as you can see, I could have gone for crit chance, but like I said, I wanted to kind of have a baseline headshot damage increase because, I primarily want to be focusing on headshots. So that means when I'm not critting, I'm still doing a decent amount of damage. So we have got crit chance modification there with Unbreakable. Use Unbreakable. It is just the best talent in PvP right now. It is a must use. I recommend it to you guys. Then the holster, we've gone for Cheska, simple crit damage, crit chance. The one piece is 10% crit chance, which allows me to get up to my crit chance cap. It's also important to take note that on your watch, because we get, for example, this is another reason. So headshot damage only goes to 20, it actually goes to 20%, which is very, very nice. And to crit damage, it goes up to 20%. So you guys need to get your watch maxed out. If you don't have your watch maxed out, you are suffering. It needs to be at least 1000, or if you invest heavily into reds, you need to do it, guys. It's so good. Also, the crit chance helps us, and the weapon damage clearly. So make sure you guys definitely go for this. We also get from the other ones, we get reload speed, accuracy, which helps a lot, and stability, which means we can beam players from further away. It is a must get. Make sure you guys try your best to farm up to Shade Tech level 1000. The backpack, the baseline assault rifle damage is a must have. We don't want to pass this up. Crit damage, headshot damage. Like I said before, you can balance it how you want. Going for more headshots and then less crit or damage, or going for more crit damage and less headshots. It's completely up to you how you want to play and what you're expecting. Like like I said before, 60% crit chance. You do the math in your head. You decide. Nothing is better or worse. It just depends on the situation and RNG as well. So we have got concussion. Now, this is where it becomes different on console. If you're on console and you can hit your headshots, use this. Keep the build how it is, or maybe go a bit more crit damage than headshot damage. If you're on console and you're quite a new player, or even on PC, and you don't think you can hit headshot damage, on this build, just go for critical hit damage and don't use concussion. I would use something like Companion, which is unbelievably strong. While you're within 5 minutes of ally skill, total weapon damage increased by 15%. Do not use Vigilance, because if you get shot once, your damage is completely taken away from you. So it's definitely not worth it. There are other talents you can use, but that would be the one that I would use the most, especially when you're playing with a team. But playing solo, I would recommend that. It's completely up to you though. So concussion, headshots increase total weapon damage by 10% for 1.5 seconds. This works with any kind of gun. 5 seconds with marksman rifles. So headshot kills increase total weapon damage by 15%. This is such a strong talent and a must use, especially if you want to make a headshot damage build with an assault rifle. Because of the high fire rate, it's just really, really good. Our damage increases tremendously from first shot to second shot because of the concussion proccing without even getting a kill. So it's a must use. So the gloves yield faithful. We can't go wrong. Like I said before, if you want to run 2-piece Walker Harris to get 5%, here's your 8% here. Just go for that. It's better. So we got crit chance, weapon damage, damage to armor. Contractor's gloves and Fox's prayer. You guys know the deal. Armor, damage chance out of cover, best in slot, unless obviously you're fighting someone who's in cover, but then they're easy to shoot. So we've got 5.2% crit chance on the knee pads. Statistics, they look very good. Like I said before, we're getting 25% more crit damage. Just take that into account. It doesn't seem that impressive, but remember, we do have a decent amount of headshot damage and armor damage. So scrolling down, you guys can pause the video and take a look. Just go through it, and like I said, read it if you want to. I don't want to explain it too much because we all should be aware of a lot of these elements by now. The decoy, even in conflict, is so good. It hides your name tag and you can just run around and completely avoid people. I'm not going to show the mods because I, for some reason, don't have the best mods. I've got health and duration modifications. Then on this, make sure you guys put damage percentage modifications. 8% shield health for the firewall and 5% damage bonus. Very, very good. That means you give your teammates damage if they're behind you within that cone, and then in front of you, you see the light, the cone light. It means that you'll be dishing out a lot more damage to players in front of you. So when you're playing solo, so it's very, very strong. Make sure to utilize that. Also, another thing to take note of, I see some people running Punch Drunk Mask. Now, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, 20% headshot damage. Like I said before, Coyote Mask is just more damage. The crits are better. We are hitting way more. Now, obviously, if you want to just focus on non-crits, you could use this as a potential candidate, but it rolls pistol damage, and you can use a big shield, but because we don't have a lot of blues, it's not going to work too well. But I recommend using Coyote's Mask. So, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Make sure to leave a comment down below if you're kind of unsure about what I meant, because for example, you know, there are a few elements of this build where you might be a bit confused, but just rewind the video and just listen to my explanation. Like I said before, it's pretty basic. 10% headshot damage and 10% crit damage when you crit is the same amount, but obviously when you're not critting, the headshot damage to the head will be more, and then to the body the crit damage will increase because headshots won't proc at all on the body. So you need to try and gauge how much RNG, how much crit chance do you have. Are you going to be critting most? They're not. And that's the thing, you know, because we get so much more crit damage available on the build. For example, over here, we can get 12% crit damage as opposed to only 10% headshot damage, which I don't know why they do that, but it's quite frustrating. I think for a lot of people, as you can see, they're 9.9. We can only get 10%. So it just makes sense. But just remember that, guys. That's how it works. Headshot damage is a guaranteed increase to the base damage of a headshot. Critical hit damage is an increase in the damage if the shot crits, regardless of where you hit. Aiming is a variable you have more control over than a crit hit, unless your gear is centered around increasing critical hit chance or damage. So let me know in the comments. Like I said, please make sure to leave a like. Consider getting some merchandise, links down below, and subscribing to my other channel. Click that notification bell, and I'll be seeing everybody in the next video. Peace out, guys.